Will Howell says we have to start on time, so we are going to get started. All right, good evening, everybody. Wow, all right. Hi, I'm Ethan Buener de Mesquita. I'm the Dean of the Harris School of Public Policy at the University of Chicago, and it is my privilege and honor and delight to welcome you all, and in particular to congratulate the 11th cohort of the Civic Leadership Academy in joining this amazing group of public servants doing such important work here for our community in Chicago and Cook County. The Harris School is enormously proud of the work that the Civic Leadership Academy does. It brings together our region's brightest lights in government, in nonprofit, people deeply dedicated to public service. It gives us a chance to try and help provide some rigorous tools, some rigorous strategies for affecting social change, for making our community a better place through policy, through civic engagement. I sometimes get asked, especially in the last couple of years, I guess, what it is that we are doing at research universities and why anybody should let us continue to do it. And it's a fair question, I guess. It's a pretty easy question, I feel like, for the dean of a public policy school. The Harris School's mission is to serve society through evidence and analysis-based policy, through research, through education, and through engagement. We take that public engagement part really seriously. Universities are incredibly privileged places where people like us have the opportunity to think about hard problems, to have the time and the space and the resources to turn our minds to what strike us as society's most important challenges. And it is my strong belief that the role of a public policy school at a great research university is to make sure that when those ideas that we're so privileged to spend our time working on can be of service to society, we are there to put them to work. And we are incredibly grateful to the Civic Leadership Academy for making it possible for us to fulfill that mission, for giving us the time with all of you who are doing the real important work of public policy on the ground to share what we have learned, to hear what you think, and to partner with you to try and put good ideas to work, making our community a better place. It's a real privilege, it's a real honor. It is why we do what we do, because we get to share it with people like you. So thank you. We're deeply grateful to the partners who make the Civic Leadership Academy possible, the leadership of the Academy, the staff who do so much work to make it happen, our civic partners, our funding partners, the leaders of our city and county who have supported the Academy for so long. And most especially to the alumni and to the current fellows who have decided both to invest in yourselves and to trust in us that there's something here worthwhile that is worthy of the time that you're going to invest in it. So thank you. It's my privilege to bring up the director of the Civic Leadership Academy. This is a bit of usually this is like a pure joy night. This one's a little bit bittersweet because formerly Professor Will Howell, now Dean Will Howell, has had to downgrade in title, has decided to join the competition. He has taken up the incredibly important task of being the inaugural dean of the Johns Hopkins School of Government and Policy. It's important work. We're glad he's doing it. It has scuttled, I will say, what were admittedly dim chances of my ever being named the best dressed dean of a policy school. Wasn't that funny? Will has been an amazing leader of the Civic Leadership Academy. He has also been an amazing leader of the Harris School. He's been an incredibly important faculty member. He's one of the world's most distinguished scholars of American politics, of the American presidency. He has helped shape the intellectual direction of the school for almost 20 years. We will miss him greatly. We will miss him greatly in the Civic Leadership Academy. We will miss him greatly at the Keller Center. But we're incredibly excited to see what he does at Johns Hopkins, even if we're going to beat him at it. The Harris School, despite Will's departure, the Harris School remains deeply dedicated to the Civic Leadership Academy. As I've said, as I've tried to communicate, we view CLA as part and parcel, as deeply embedded in the mission and the DNA of the school. As you'll hear a little more going forward, we already have plans in place for a transition which will be great and which will make the Leadership Academy continue to thrive for years to come. So, for now, please join me in both welcoming and congratulating Dean Will Howell, the Director of the Civic Leadership Academy.
I'm just gonna soak that up, like, oh gosh. I'll say, this program has changed my life. It's really impacted me greatly. I wouldn't be launching on this new venture were it not for CLA. And all of you have taken CLA once. I've taken it 10 times. So I've been trying to soak up these lessons and try to think about what it means to do impactful work, to build institutions with integrity. And when I was negotiating this opportunity with the president of Johns Hopkins, I went and I met him. We had lunch, and I said, we were sort of nailing things down, and I said, but there's one more thing. And he said, what's that? I said, I want to do CLA one more time. And he's like, what's CLA? And so I said, I gave a little bit, and I said, I want to do this for the next 6 months. And so while I will be launching this school, I'm going to be doing this other thing. And he said, that seems great. And I said, it does. I want to say too, working with the Harris School, working with Ethan, who is our dean, has been really fantastic over the years. He has been teaching in CLA for years. He's a huge thought leader for the program, for the center that we run. He sits at the center of our school. We are really in good hands with Ethan at the helm. And we're going to hear from, I want to just read out some thanks, because we need to do that. Cindy, thank you for being here. We're going to hear from Cindy Rubik, who's going to be our CLA alum speaker in just a bit, which is, we're really fortunate to have you here. Yes. Ethan mentioned in the thanks, the Harris staff who are here, and the CEG leaders and administrators. Hopi, who none of this happens without Hopi. Yes. And the rest of the Center for Effective Government team, Sammy and Kat and Megan, who are right here, and thank you for all that you do. And she's not here because she's attending to the youngest member of the CLA community, which is Sadia Sandhu, who we need to, yes. Some important funders. The Harris School itself, that commits so much to this program, wouldn't exist without it. The Harris Family Foundation, the Chicago Community Trust, the Walder Foundation, the WF Fund. We are a small, scrappy organization that has really strong support from some really terrific institutions, and so we need to recognize them. I'll say this is a time of transition in a number of ways. It is seasonally. I find this January generally is sort of awful, to be honest. Like, we have all this bounty and we eat and good cheer, or at least we think we do. We're trying to for a good long stretch, and then we get dumped into the austerity that is January. So there's that transition, but in the middle of it, we come together as a community every January, which to me is just, it's not just like a dollop of goodness. It's this thing to look forward to hold on to. Thank you all for coming out. You do every year. This is just such an extraordinary community. It's a transition too, we should recognize this, that's going to present lots of challenges nationally, that are going to present challenges for our city, for our county. There's all kinds of political tumult and change that are going to present opportunities and headwinds that we need to confront. And I am sure, because this always happens, it's through CLA, it kind of finds its way into the hard conversations that we have as we try to not, get out our pom-poms and cheerlead, rah-rah, go leadership, but to think hard about what are the preconditions for meaningful, enduring social change, which is what we do. And in those moments when we say, yeah, we need more leaders, we also say, yeah, we need a whole lot of other sorts of agents of social change. No, we're going to define them in the next class. They're coming. It's like in a week. That's lesson number 1. And lesson number 2, we've already had lesson number 1. So all of that, yes. A source of continuity, though, as we make our way forward, is the person who's going to be running CLA, who we couldn't be in better hands, Chris Berry. Chris, there's nobody who, yes. I'll say on a personal level, Chris, he and I, we were working at Harvard about 20 years ago together. And Chris came out to the University of Chicago first, and that's the explanation for why then I came to the University of Chicago, because then he said, well, come along. And then he and I were talking when I got here, and he said, you know who we gotta try to get if we can? There's this guy, Ethan Buena-Mesquita. And Chris has played such an important role in bringing together this community of folk at the Harris School. He's somebody whose whole research agenda is about cities and trying to make sense about how they work and how they function and what kinds of reforms we ought to undertake. He has taught for years in the Civic Leadership Academy and taught on the basis of not just his own research, but he's got a great story to tell. You're going to hear it about what it means to do impactful research that bears upon the possibility of social change. But he's going to be a partner going forward. And so he's going to join us, dear 11th class, throughout this year, and then be running the show in the years ahead. And so I want to bring him up to say a few words. It's bless you all.
Well, hey everyone. Let's stop talking about Will Howell. And the reason I say that is I feel like if I talk too much about Will, Anyway, Will and I are old friends. We go way back, as he said. And I never said anything about going to Johns Hopkins. I said, come out to Chicago, we'll get Ethan, it'll be a good time. And it was for about 20 years, but congratulations, and you will be missed in so many ways. I'm really thrilled to be able to, I won't say fill Will's shoes because that's impossible. I would say, these are like Godzilla-sized footprints that I'm standing in and just kind of hoping to start by not breaking things. But I do look forward to what we can do together in the future. I've spent my whole career studying cities, how they're governed, what makes them successful. I currently run the Mansueto Institute at the university, which is really the unit at the university that's dedicated to studying cities and what makes them successful and to get that knowledge out into the world. And we have a big quote on a wall in the Mansueto Institute, which I had put there to kind of keep us in focus on our mission. And the quote says, "Throughout history, whenever societies have thrived and blossomed rather than stagnated and decayed, creative and workable cities have been at the core of that phenomenon." That's Jane Jacobs. And I think one of the things that everyone in this room shares in common is the dedication to that view and to making creative and workable cities, particularly this very city that we find ourselves in. And so I really am very excited to be able to partner with Center for Effective Government, Harris School, with all of the CLA alums to continue this wonderful program. I think that the University of Chicago, as long as anyone can remember, has been one of the world's great universities. It's been more recent that we've dedicated ourselves to becoming one of Chicago's great universities. And I think the CLA is probably as important. I think CLA is absolutely the center of that effort, of the university's effort to engage with the city and sometimes beyond, with the people like you who are working every day to make this a creative and workable city, because we don't get creative and workable cities without creative and hardworking people. And so I think this program is going to be a focal point going forward for the university. I think, as I said, first thing we're going to do is to not break what Will and Sadia and Hopi and others have created. And over time, I really hope that one of the things we can do is continue to engage the alums of the program, even after graduation. And I look forward to working with you in that capacity. And so I'm excited for the future. Will's departure is something that's sad for all of us, but we'll find ways to get him to come back. I've already talked to him about whether he might just come back to give his own lecture in CLA every year. So, we're going to keep pulling you back in, as they say. So anyway, thank you very much. Now, I'm pleased to be able to introduce one of the true, founders and long-time supporters of CLA, someone who has been absolutely instrumental in the creation, the growth, the success of CLA from day one. And this is someone that I think needs really no introduction in this room or many others, which is Tony Preckwinkle. And so I welcome you here.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for that kind introduction, Professor Berry. I want to begin by congratulating and thanking Will Howell for his good work. We'll miss you. The University of Chicago will miss you, and the Chicagoland civic community will miss you and your leadership. I also want to thank Sadia and Hopi and the entire CLA team for inviting me to join you today. And I want to begin my formal remarks by congratulating the newest class of the Civic Leadership Academy. Congratulations to each of you. Congratulations to each of you and to all the CLA alums who are here tonight, with a special shout out to our Cook County employees in the room. Can I ask our Cook County CLA alums to stand, please, so I can acknowledge them? Thank you all for your good work. Everyone in this room has demonstrated a commitment to our democracy, to service, and to leadership. As a fellow of the Civic Leadership Academy, you have a unique opportunity to build on that commitment, to network, to learn from your peers, and share strategies for improving your communities. CLA provides an environment that facilitates critical thinking, robust dialogue, and healthy debate. Programs like this prepare our leaders for the future and are vital incubators for our communities. I firmly believe that you have a vision of what you want and are willing to put your best effort forward. You can sometimes achieve the unexpected. Let me end by saying this. I spent 10 years in the classroom as a history teacher. I used to tell my students that casting your vote is the first obligation of citizenship. It's necessary but not sufficient. You have to support good candidates, both financially and with your time. You have to continue to involve yourself in our public life. You've earned your place here, and I wish you continued success. Please embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and most importantly, stay true to the ideals that led you to civic leadership in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Parkwinkle, for those remarks. And thank you all so much for being here. My name is Hopi Melton, and I'm a Senior Program Associate at the Center for Effective Government. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker to the stage, Cindy Chan-Rubik of the 2022 CLA cohort. Her bio is incredibly impressive. I'll just give you the highlights, but I also just want to say, Cindy has been such a valued community member of the CLA alumni, and for her work for the city, we are so grateful and proud. Cindy is a Deputy Commissioner for the City of Chicago's Department of Planning and Development, where she's worked for almost 20 years, over 19, almost 20 years. Cindy manages a team of staff within the Bureau of Planning and Design who are responsible for leading long-range planning studies and initiatives and ensuring that large-scale redevelopment projects comply with the city's urban design standards. Her team also manages the sale of city-owned land for market rate redevelopment to invest and repopulate the south and west sides of the city. She's also LEED certified, accredited, and has won numerous awards and recognitions throughout her career. Again, we're so grateful for her being here, and please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Thank you so much. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, thank you and congrats, Will, and thank you, Hopi, for those kind words. And Sadia, thank you. I know you're not here, but we're thinking of you. Yes, we are. She's doing important work, And thanks to the University of Chicago's Harris School of Public Policy for supporting this great program and for organizing tonight's event. I'm truly honored to be representing the CLA alumni community. Shout out to the cohort 2022. Woo! Yes, we come out in force tonight. I'll do my best to keep it brief since I know we still have more to celebrate. So we just finished the holiday season, and I hope you enjoyed a well-deserved break and spent time with family and friends. I wanted to share what it means to me to be part of what I call our CLA family. To me, it felt like, even though it starts as a 6-month experience, it really feels like I'm still kind of unwrapping a gift, and one that's just full of handcrafted objects and inspiring personal touches. We've all selected this professional career with a mission to serve others, but our work is hard. There are a lot of challenges, but we persevere, and we're here tonight to celebrate and to collectively say that you deserve this gift. And as any alum will tell you, CLA is a gift that keeps on giving. Like many of you, my personal journey starts with my ancestors, and specifically my parents. My father came from Hong Kong to North America by himself, and he was 16 years old, $60 in his pocket, and he could barely speak any English. My mother had to convince her father to let her also to leave Hong Kong to come to the US to study for college. He had only planned to let his sons study in college. So obviously my parents had to overcome a lot of challenges, adversity, adapting to a new language and culture, really just so that I could have this life, which is full of opportunities. And I'm very grateful for their hard work and their sacrifices. Chicago is my home, where my husband and I are raising two amazing teenage daughters. Yes, amazing and teenage are in the same sentence. I should knock on wood somewhere. But I'm not actually from Chicago. I grew up and I completed all of my education in Montreal, Canada. So as a former Canadian, I'm often asked, especially after some political situations, what am I doing here in Chicago? Well, I can tell you that Chicago winters are actually warmer and shorter, so we do have that going for it. But I also, after I graduated architecture school, I thought about, I didn't know anyone in Chicago, but I knew that Chicago had this incredible array of, beautiful buildings, a great river, and this amazing lakefront, and I thought, well, I'll just work here for a bit, and I'll explore the big city life for a few years. And I started my architectural career in private practice, working on the designs of luxury high-rises, both old and new. It was exciting, and my role was expanding, but it just wasn't as impactful as I had wanted it to be, right, for my career. So almost 20 years ago, I decided to switch to the public sector, and I joined Chicago's Department of Planning and Development. I started in the Historic Preservation Division, and I guided property owners through their small-scale restoration projects. But I also worked on large-scale projects like Rosenwald Courts in Bronzeville, and Wrigley Field rehabilitation on the north side. And then about 7 years ago, thanks to the encouragement of a thoughtful mentor, who I hope is here tonight, I don't know, Eleanor Gorski. She's also a CLA alum. Yes. She advised, and I agreed, that I should change roles within the department to work on planning initiatives, and now I'm Deputy Commissioner of the Planning and Design team. Yeah, and thank you. Anyone at the city, and I expect this is similar to a lot of other government and nonprofit jobs, will tell you that our work environment it's not exactly ideal, especially when you compare it to the private sector, right? We have generic office cubicles, dilapidated desk chairs sometimes, inconsistent Wi-Fi. I don't know how it is on the county side, but on the city side, we have a lot of burdensome paperwork and just, a lot of regulations. Some days it feels overwhelming and frankly disheartening. So why have I stayed so long, right? Almost 20 years. It's two reasons, primarily. The people and the impact, right? I've been through 4 administrations, and I think about 8 department commissioners. So, some people might find it too stressful to deal with those changes, and it can be absolutely stressful, but I have approached it this way. I've had the opportunity to work with so many quality people, right? There's always something new to learn from these people, a different priority, a fresh approach, a different perspective. And what hasn't changed, honestly, throughout all these different administrations and different commissioners, is the collective desire to move the needle, to improve the lives of Chicagoans. And as far as impact, I've had the privilege to lead policy improvements and initiatives related to development along the Chicago River, to downtown's post-pandemic revitalization, to redevelopment of vacant land on the city's south and west sides. We even did something new this year as well. We proactively upzoned 5 miles along Western Avenue so that development could happen without political interference, which is really exciting for Chicago. And yes, it's exciting, exactly. And on catalytic projects that grow and reinvest in all 77 of our city's community areas. And the larger redevelopment projects often span multiple administrations, right? It takes It is important to have some continuity and to have people who can champion these projects from till they are implemented. Make no mistake, it takes a village of people to get from idea to implementation. The public sector cannot rely solely on itself. We need the advocacy groups to push us. We need the nonprofit sector to support and enhance our collective goals. And we need the private sector to invest with us. That is what makes CLA's purpose so critical. It is an investment in the people who drive impactful change for Chicago. The Center for Effective Government recognizes through this program that people can make a difference. Relationships matter, and a strong support network is critical to moving this needle over time. My advice for the incoming cohort is to be present during the Friday classes. Live in the moment. Turn off your work phone notifications. Yes, being present is especially hard for me. I am a city planner, so thinking about the future is my job, so it's very difficult. But the Friday classes are a gift to you, learning outside of your everyday office environment to experience something new. The second piece of advice is to take this opportunity to do things that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So if you are an introvert, ask questions, speak up. If you are an extrovert, listen first. That's tough, it's tough. People in this room, I know. So I also think you should look at challenges from a different perspective, and your upcoming trip is a great opportunity to do just this. You should do something unexpected, like explore the city with new friends at midnight because they watched a movie about doing just that. You know what I'm talking about. And last but not least, I want to thank the supervisors who are here tonight and family who support the CLA class of 2025 and those who have supported alumni in past years. You are part of the gift givers because you're giving these leaders time, right? Time away from work, time away from home. And cheers to you, and welcome to the class of 2025. Let's get on with the celebration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy, for your words of wisdom and reflection for the new cohort, and for the reminder to turn off your phones in class. That is one less reminder I have to do, so thank you. I'd like to invite my colleague Kat to join me on stage for the moment you've all been waiting for, the welcome of each new fellow into the 2025 cohort and into the CLA community. As I call your name, fellows, you may walk across the stage to receive a small gift. We'll start with Nida Abbasi from the MacArthur Foundation. Tosif Akbar, University of Chicago, Walter W.F. Fund Fellow. Congratulations. Kenneth Balcarcel, City Colleges of Chicago, Wilder Foundation Fellow. Lisa Bly Jones, Chicago Jobs Council. Jeremy Bryant, Elevate. Chris Chavez, Chicago Housing Authority. Kathy Kulik, Chicago Cred. Deanna Durica, Cook County Department of Public Health. Sylvia Gemian, Chicago Department of Public Health. James Harris, Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Suli Hatch, the Academy Group. Noreen Hashim Jawani, City of Chicago Office of the Mayor. Laura Houle, Carol Robertson Center for Learning, Jessica Breyer Scholar. Bueza Itaji, Grow Greater Englewood. Audrey Jonas, Cook County Bureau of Asset Management. Devon LaRosa, Chicago Public Schools. Rory McHale, Law Office of the Cook County Public Defender. Robin Murphy, Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Kanako Ishida Musselwhite, Cook County Department of Budget and Management Services. Philip Natesty, Chicago Architecture Center. Lucretia Parks, Chicago Community Loan Fund. Eleanor Perone Turiski, Civic Consulting Alliance. Tawaga Roberts, Chicago Police Department. Robert Rodemeyer, Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Matt Stern, Chicago Department of Housing. Ali Tarok, Trellis, and Walter Foundation Fellow. Alexa Van Brunt, MacArthur Justice Center. Errol Van Cleve, WBEZ. And last but not least, Luis Zepeda, Chicago Department of Streets and Sanitation. Thank you. Thank you, yeah. I know never to tell you guys to hold your applause until the end because like you can clap between every single person. So one more big round of applause for the 2025 cohort. To our alumni, to our organizational colleagues, supporters, colleagues of my fellows who we're about to take away from your work for those every other Fridays, thank you again for coming tonight and for supporting the CLA program over the past 11 years. Thank you to all of our speakers, again, to Ethan, Will, Chris, President Preckwinkle, to Cindy. We're so happy to have you all here. So our last guest of the night, Mayor Brandon Johnson. He is coming. He is on his way. And that obviously went very quickly. We got through all of you so quickly, and I'm not just going to stand up here. I know, it's like, seriously. So, I don't want to, just stand up here and spew at you all for the next 10 minutes, but if we can, I'd really like to wait here to have him close out the program. I know we want to, get to our reception, but I think we'll just, if we can sit just for a second, I'd really appreciate that. But I know, I know. Yeah. I thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. We will be having a reception after that does take place. Thank you all so much. I'll be back up in just a few minutes. Thanks. And just like that, it is time to get everyone seated again. All right, everyone. He's coming, he's coming. Thank you all so much for your patience. I'll get us settled back in. I know that, I can just I can leave you all to gab, and you really don't mind, so thank you for your patience. We're thrilled to welcome Mayor Brandon Johnson to the stage to kind of close us out. Again, I'll reiterate that we'll have a reception until about 7:55 p.m., 8 p.m. In the other room after this, as well as some past apps and drinks and all that good stuff. Thank you again for your patience. And yeah, I'm just glad to see everyone here. But yeah, he's gonna come out shortly. Thank you. He is, so don't go anywhere. He's in the building. Okay, I'll do one reminder for the 2025 cohort. If you all could, yeah. I know. If y'all could stay for a photo with the mayor, and we're gonna do that in this room with B. King after his remarks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. I know. I say something. right, everyone, thank you so much for your patience. I am pleased to welcome to the stage the Mayor of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Wow, thank you all so much. Good evening and Happy New Year. Sorry I'm late. I was on the phone with state legislators building relationships. Okay, all right, thank you. Obviously, I'm not that late, so apparently I did not have to build that many relationships. Right? Really grateful that you all are here, and thank you for being patient this evening. I'm truly honored to be here tonight to help welcome you all into the U Chicago Civic Leadership Academy, CLA. Well done, and thank you for your commitment and desire to not only lead, but to help lead and learn from other leaders. And let me acknowledge the Harris School of Public Policy and the University of Chicago Office of Civic Engagement for launching this program over a decade ago. Thank you for your continued commitment to provide this opportunity for civic workers looking to gain leadership skills and reform institutions that ultimately should be designed to work best for the people that they serve. I want to offer my sincere congratulations to you for being chosen to join the Academy's 11th cohort of fellows. You know, it takes a very special person to want to spend more time with more people. But you all should be incredibly proud that your ideas, skills, passion, it allows you to join this amazing cohort of fellows. This program will help you explore new perspectives and learn skills that will transform our city through your successful and effective leadership. You will be joining an alumni network of over 300 alumni across Chicago and Cook County. Alumni who come from various stages within their careers. They have actively engaged in work that has been very much obvious in its effort to improve policies and institutions, as well as advocating for their specific communities. And since this program's inception almost 11 years ago, CLA fellows have played a vital role in civic government across our city, with fellows and alumni directly impacting our city's continued development. And whether it's economic or neighborhood development, education, or community safety, past fellows have responded to the call to help break the cycles of systemic racism and disinvestment. Cohorts have put forth policies to ultimately transform systems that will give our residents and the city the best chance to thrive. I see the impact of CLA even among my own staff, where alumni continue to pursue progress and a more equitable future. The alumni from Kahari Humphreys, our acting Deputy Mayor of Education, Youth, and Human Services. Eve Jennings, Director of Data Science. And Cindy Robick, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Planning and Development. And I see all the way in the back, Angela Herlock, who is the Interim Chief Executive Officer of the Chicago Housing Authority. In addition to city staff, we have also appointed alumni to various boards and commissions. Miguel Blancarte Jr. to the City of Chicago's Advisory Council for LGBTQ+ issues, and Darlene Hightower to the City Colleges of Chicago Board of Trustees. And Rafael Yanez appointed to the Chicago Board of Education. And of course, CLA alum include elected officials, Alderman Mike Rodriguez and Jessica Biggs, who recently was elected to our first ever elected school board. I'm also thrilled to see 10 fellows today from a variety of departments and sister agencies of the City of Chicago represented in this 2025 cohort of CLA fellows. I have to give a special shout out to Noreen Hashim Jawani, our first Deputy of Policy. Noreen, who helped lead the opening of 2 mental health centers in Pilsen and Roseland, where we had the ribbon cutting on yesterday. These alumni have made incredible contributions to the city of Chicago and certainly beyond, to which we are truly, truly thankful. And there's still so much work to be done, and there are still more people to help. And that is where you come in. U Chicago has built an amazing cohort of fellows this year, and being selected, you have shown that you are ready to collaborate and challenge the status quo. And you know, one of the best parts of CLA is its focus on creating network change agents who are prepared to put the hard work in to create a better, stronger, and a much safer Chicago. You are needed. The people of the globe need you. And you all come from diverse backgrounds and career paths that will greatly benefit your work and allow you to exchange ideas and will help you become a better Chicagoan, but it will help Chicago become a better Chicago for generations to come. And no matter where you want to serve or where you came from, you all are united by your strong desire to make a real difference right here in the beloved city of Chicago. As mayor, I'm truly grateful of your commitment to develop partnerships and to build collaborative approaches based on a mutual trust and a commitment to transform in a very significant way, to transform our economy, reaching goals and making a change that you really want to see is something that I admire. And Chicago is the city that is situated best today because of these strong partnerships and the desire to collaborate and our ability to open up our eyes to new and exciting ideas and opportunities. My administration is proud to continue the tradition of collaboration by working with civic leaders and government leaders and, more importantly, the relationships that matter the most. And that's with the people of this city. It is great to see that the Academy continues to build bridges and allows for a real successful service to take place in communities and throughout our entire city. I want you all to know that the fight to create change is not easy work. You know, yesterday we were able to receive, through hard advocacy, $426 million from the federal government to respond to climate change and flooding victims that have lost memories and lost possession because of the torrential rain and the downpour. At a time in which we are living in extreme polarization and uncertainty, your work is generational. In fact, as a social studies teacher, all of you in this room should know that you are positioned to be primary sources for generations to come and ask you, what did you do and how did you do it and how can we do it better? It's going to require you to dedicate yourself and to constantly listen, learn, improve, grow, and to do this at a time in which we have to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and our bias, as well as our privileges, to ensure that those who have been marginal for decades can feel and see transformation. It's going to take all of our hands to overturn the inequitable systems that we have all been under the weight under. But our hands can build something better. So I challenge you all. I challenge you all to build the networks with colleagues and friends. Look past your pre-existing beliefs and come away inspired and invigorated to serve the city of Chicago. It is the greatest gift that we can give to humanity, is the gift of ourselves. Let's learn on the failures of the past, and let's also lean on each other, especially during difficult moments. It will be these times together that we build camaraderie. It will be times when you won't always feel like the work that you do matters. But I can tell you, from someone who was born in a family of comes from descendants of slaves who found a little bit of refuge through Emancipation Proclamation in Salis, Mississippi. Where up 55 north, a family landed on the west side and eventually on the south side in the suburbs and back to the west side. The hopes and aspirations of descendants of slaves now run city government. I have no doubt that the group of fellows that are in this room, you only have one another. But it's through that collective struggle with one another that you can create a true commitment and dedication so that you can become the leader that is ultimately positioned to be transformative, to impact the city and its future. I really look forward to seeing the valuable work that all of you will do to continue to move our city forward. And I want you to know that I appreciate the investment that you're making in yourselves in the present for the future governance of this city. And please know that you will have the support of your peers and colleagues and this grateful city. Again, I want to congratulate you all for all of the work that you have done and to be a part of this historic moment at a time in which the Bears are undefeated in 2025. So not only congratulations to the Chicago Bears, but congratulations to this year's Chicago Leadership Academy Fellows. God bless you all. God bless the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. I invite the guests and alumni to please head out and enjoy the reception. We're going to keep the 2025 cohort here for a quick photo. Thank you. Please head out those back doors. At least off the stage.